What's up everyone, my name is Luka and you're watching my first year on T. So this week I wanted to talk about my shot anxiety. I've been having major issues doing my shots for the past couple of months, and I've actually been having my mom do them for me instead. I thought that perhaps it was just something that would pass with time and maybe it was like 1 or 2 shots I wouldn't be able to do, but I realized that the further along I get, the less I'm able to do them. I don't even know why it started. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I just know that every week it gets harder and harder for me to do my own shot. I've been resorting to having my mom do them for me because it's a lot easier and less anxiety inducing than me trying to do them myself every single time. It got to the point where I sat for 2 hours for 3 days in a row trying to psych myself up to do my shot, and I ended up not being able to do it. At that point, I went to my mom and I had her practicing to do it. It was like 11 p.m. on the 3rd night that I hadn't done it. We went and sat in the bathroom. She told me that she was going to practice the angle in which she would inject. I was pulling my skin tight so she could see exactly where I wanted her to inject. And she was like, yeah, I'll just be practicing. So I turned my head because I didn't really want to see her going at my leg multiple times. She was practicing, and then she did the shot. Keep in mind, my mom has never done any kind of injection before for anybody. This was completely new to her. So she stabbed my leg. I don't think she was expecting to do it either, and I wasn't expecting her to do it. So I jumped when she did it, and I jerked. My whole body reacted because it was just like, it's like if somebody walked up behind you and punched you in the back, your whole body reacts, you know? And I jerked my leg, and the fact that I jumped scared her, so she screamed and she let go of the needle while it was in my leg. I panicked and I grabbed it. I looked over and saw it just sticking out of my leg, and it was like all sideways because she had done it at the wrong angle, and yeah, it was bad. I straightened it out in my leg, and then I aspirated the needle, and I went to push the testosterone in, but my hands were shaking so bad that I couldn't do it. It's really thick, of course, so it has to be done slowly. I was just like in the middle of laughing. My anxiety was super high, my adrenaline was really high, so my whole body was shaking, and it was just kind of a mess. But at the end of the day, my shot was done. I didn't have to worry about it. I thought for sure that, as traumatic as that experience was, I would totally be able to do it the next week on my own. Come the next week, I had the same issue. I continued to not be able to do my own shot. At this point, having to resort to going to my mom again was really devastating to me because I realized that I was having a major issue with this. At some point, I went to see my therapist. I talked to her about it for a bit. She and I can't figure out what happened. I don't know what happened. She can't. I mean, everything I've told her, she's like, I really don't know why you're having issues because you started off being able to do them on your own. You've never had anybody else do them until your mom. You never had any issue. So I don't understand why you're having issues now. And I was like, yeah, I don't either. That's it's the big mystery. The funny thing is, my mom is actually scared of needles. Not terrified, but she doesn't like them. So every time she does my shot, her biggest problem is letting go of the needle the second it's in my leg. And she's getting better with it. She definitely doesn't like it. I don't want to have to make her do it all the time. Another big problem is if I ever leave, I need to be able to do them on my own. I can't just have somebody else do them for me. I could, but it would take some time to find somebody I trust. I'm gonna be in Seattle for all of June. That's like 3 or 4 weeks. That's 3 or 4 shots I'm gonna need to be able to do by myself. If I can't figure out how to make myself do them again, I'm screwed, because I can't just bring my mom with me everywhere I go so she can do my shot, you know? I will figure it out. I know I will. But just not being able to do it, it really kills my confidence in myself. Since not being able to do my shots, I've also fallen into a rut of not being able to do a lot of other things because I just psychologically, I know that I'm having performance issues in general. I've been being really hard on myself about it. I know it's not fair to myself to be so harsh about it because it's not my fault. I keep blaming myself and judging myself for not being able to do it, but it's not entirely my fault, and I need to be more lenient with myself on it because it's not an easy thing to do, to stab yourself every week or every 2 weeks or whatever, to do that and knowing that you have to keep doing it for the rest of your life just so you feel normal or you feel better in your own body It sucks. It's just really taxing. When I signed on to do this, I thought that I could. I was actually excited to do shots and injections. I started off on gel and I hated it, and I won't go back to gel. I highly doubt that I ever would do that. Even as hard as this is, I would much rather walk around the neighborhood with the needle in my hand until I find somebody who's willing to do it than put gel on myself every single day. I know that sounds extreme, but I really hated the gel. I can't do the patches because my skin is allergic to adhesives. I'm stuck with either subcu or intermuscular, and the thought of sticking a needle into my stomach makes me want to vomit. That's kind of out of the picture for me, so intermuscular it is. I think the biggest issue is that I know in order to feel like myself, I have to keep doing this. I have to keep putting myself through this, and I think that is taxing my mind so much, it's disabling me from being able to do my own shots. Of course, I don't really know the full reason, but that's my hypothesis for now. The thing to remember is to just not be too hard on yourself. It's not an easy thing to do. If you're doing this, I mean, props to you, because it is not easy. I can't say that your injections get easier with time because that's what I initially thought. I was wrong. At least for right now, they're getting harder for me to do every time. I don't want to say that to ward anybody off from it, but it's something that you should consider because I was a person who had no fear of needles. I watched a 9-gauge needle be shot into my arm. Right here, actually, there's a little scar for my Nexplanon implant back when I had birth control. When I got it removed, I watched her take a scalpel layer by layer and cut it out, and I was fine. Like, that didn't freak me out at all. I've never had issues with needles or any kind of that kind of stuff. I don't know. So I knew going into injections that I wouldn't have an issue with it. Only now I am having an issue with it, an issue that I was never expecting to have because I thought that I could do this. I didn't even just think that I could do it, I knew I could do it. I think the problem now is I don't know if I can do it. I'm letting that get in my head, and I'm letting it get to me. I need to be more lenient with myself and more forgiving with myself for not being able to do it, but I've never been really forgiving of myself and my mistakes. That is something I need to work on. It's just one of the reasons I think I'm having issues with this. But I've noticed that not being able to do my shot has led me into having issues with not being able to do other things in my life too. For example, videos and filming. I love making videos. I love filming. I have this very perfectionist mindset, and so if something doesn't go exactly as I see it in my head, which is often really hard to replicate, I'm disappointed in myself, and I feel like I'm unable to do anything, and like I can't do anything. I've been just not doing anything, and I've been wasting my time doing nothing. I've been reading a lot more, which is good. For the most part, though, I've been just doing meaningless and pointless things. I need to get my life back on track. And I feel like if I get my life back on track and I'm obtaining goals that I've set for myself in other aspects of my life, I'll slowly be able to gain the confidence and just the assurance that I know that I can do my shots on my own. So that's what I'm working towards, bettering myself in my life so that I can better myself in all aspects of it, not just one, because I think that they're all interconnected. That being said, I've lost a lot of my creativity. I have all these thoughts and ideas of videos I want to do, but I don't know where to start. If you guys have anything you really want to see on my personal channel, please let me know down below so I can start putting out videos, because if I start getting the ball rolling with something that I know people want to see, or at least one person wants to see, it'll be easier for me to make videos that I want to make, at least just for myself. Just from a creator's aspect, I need to start doing stuff. It's hard to start doing stuff when you don't know where you want to start. Well, I guess my question for this video to you is, if you're on hormones, what kind of method do you use? Are you having issues with it, or does it go really easy? I'm always curious because I think it's so interesting to hear everybody's different experiences on that subject. I feel like I've been really lost in life, and it would be nice to get something regular happening again. So I think if I can get myself back into making videos again, things will start to even themselves out for me more. I hope you know that if you're having issues like me, you're not alone and you're not the only one. So as always, if nobody's reminded you recently, you are worthy and you deserve good. Have a great day. Bye.